My name is Gordon, or Gordo, amongst other nicknames, and 25, and I'm sticking to
Good morning, Gordon.
Good morning, Leslie.
It's nice to see you again.
You too?
So I have one question that I will ask you to start off our interview.
Yeah.
What do you think people's first impression of you is?
Eclectic. I think for one thing, they don't know what my age is or what my background is until I start talking, and then they usually ask where I'm from, what is your accent? So I kind of blend in, but then when I open my mouth, I think then it leads to certain questions and things like that. So yeah.
So let us ask, where are you from?
Okay, well, I grew up in Australia. I was actually born in Europe. I grew up in Australia. I moved to the US 25 years ago, 26 now. So I was raised in Melbourne, Australia, and moved here. As I said, I met my wife here in Santa Barbara at the Santa Barbara Writers Conference, and moved to LA, and I've been here ever since. So yeah.
So you said you met her at a writer's conference.
Yeah, Santa Barbara Writers Conference.
So you're a writer?
Right, yes, that's my initial career, although I'm an artist. But yeah, I came on a tour, a writer's tour, from San Francisco all the way down to Santa Barbara. We ended up at the Santa Barbara Writers Conference. I met her there, and we got to talking, and one thing led to another. And I popped the question before I went back to Sydney, and came back, and we got married, and yeah, that was it.
And you're still together to this day?
Yeah, absolutely. Since 1993.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks, yeah.
That's incredible. I love that.
Thanks.
So how long did you know her before you went back to Sydney?
Well, not long. In fact, we were really like pen pals. And I still love it when you're a kid. You write letters to people and Dear Pen Pal and all that. And so we wrote letters to each other. And actually in those days it was fax. There was no email. And so we'd be, like writing and corresponding. She'd be, in California. I'd be in Australia. And so it was like that. And then she came over there actually and visited me in Sydney. And then I came over here. And so it was very kind of drawn out, but also meaningful,
That's so great. So you said that it was a writer's conference and you're a writer and an artist. What do you write, and tell us about your art?
Okay, so I write nonfiction, features, interviews. I kind of like try to specialize in the arts and entertainment, but I could be writing about anything. In fact, I just finished a story on compost, so I write about anything. But nonfiction. I'm not really a fiction writer. I like kind of fantasy, but I'm not really into like fiction. I like like what you do. I like meeting real people and talking about real things. And so I've written for a lot of different magazines and newspapers and interviews. And my art is, again, eclectic, like I guess I am. Mixed media. I love pen and ink. That's my main love, is pen and ink. And the latest things I've been working on are painting on vinyl records. I got some old vinyl records which I've been painting on, and I'm really loving that. And also some t-shirt designs. I've been doing some different designs. And yeah.
That's really neat. Is there a place we can view your art?
Actually, on Facebook, I have a page, Art Bloke.
Yeah. So tell me, you've mentioned twice now that you are eclectic. Expand on that. Tell us what that means to you and why you think you're eclectic or viewed as eclectic.
Right, because I don't think I fit into one particular category. Like somebody might be a doctor or a lawyer. But the thing is, with me, I have so many different things going on. And I just found, I was doing a graphic design course recently, and I was asked how to describe my work and my art. And as I said, it just seems to be like a mixture of different things. There's no real specific category. And I have so many different influences, and my work is varied. I mean, you can probably see a style in it, but it's still a mixture of different styles.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you and I met at the event for the show that we had in Thousand Oaks a week ago. You were there that night with is it a job, or do you volunteer with that organization?
Yeah, no, actually I work for it. and I work with people who have developmental disabilities or delay, and I find that very rewarding. It's my day job, and I've worked in in recovery people with mental health challenges, and I really like that work because it helps me to connect to people like that who have challenges, and we all do. And my art and my writing will always be there, but it may not be like full time because it's not that easy to make a living from that. So I really like the work I do, and it keeps me grounded and connected. So, and in the community, which is the main thing. So it's kind of a balance between the two worlds, but it seems to work, and everything in my life seems to be in twos. As a Gemini, 2 countries, 2 different careers, 2 cars, or whatever. So in my life, I found it's always like being a duality of things.
I'm a Gemini too.
Oh wow!
So now there's 2 of us in the room.
So that's why we get along.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
And I found it very, very nice, the work you were doing when we met. I've always been interested in that myself. Tell us how you got into doing that work.
Well, actually, I went through a period where things were kind of rough, and it led me to an organization called Recovery Innovations International. And I went to some classes, and it was called a RAP program, Wellness Recovery Action Program, after having a meltdown and being in a psych hospital. And after that, I was offered a job. They said, would you like to work with us? Working with other people who have, those kinds of challenges with depression or, other mental health challenges. And it's not something I was like ashamed of, because I think it's just reality. And I've always had that since a kid. And I think a lot of creative people experience those sorts of things. So it led me to working with them. And as I said, they offered me a position. And frankly, I never thought I'd work full time again after what I'd been through before, like going from job to job. And so I was really kind of honored and flattered. And I really loved working with them and working with behavioral health. And I even did some like art therapy, which was great. And, it was just a really great time.
What are the ages of the people that you work with?
They really vary. So anywhere from 19 to 60. I mean, it just really varies, but adults, mostly young adults. And because I feel very youthful, I can really relate to people who are younger. I can relate more to people who are 25 than to people maybe who are 60 and act like they're 90. But, they're really amazing people who are just so upbeat and positive and creative and independent. And that's the whole thing, is they want to be independent, and I help them be independent. And I work with them to, find resources and be in the community and live on their own. And it's really satisfying and rewarding to see them, to really blossom and grow. So I find that really rewarding.
I would imagine it's rewarding from both ends. I'm sure the people that you are helping feel very appreciative too, I would assume.
Well, yeah, I hear good comment. I mean, I hear these comments like, people love working with you. But I mean, I just do what I do for them. And, I don't expect any kind of like pats on the back or anything. But as long as I've made a difference and helped somebody and, made them smile, to me, it's a good day, So, yeah.
2 questions for you. 1, what is something that would surprise people to know about you?
Oh, that I'm my age, probably. Because as I said before, I really don't feel, I'm not at all ageist as well when it comes to other people. I'm not really somebody who thinks age is important.
What is one thing, if you were walking down the street and you, as people pass you by, had only one opportunity to hold up a sign and tell them one thing about Gordon, what would you want them to know?
That I was open-minded, broad-minded, kind. And I think this year is all about kindness. So, yeah. And in fact, that's the quality that attracted me to my wife, was her kindness. And I think it's interesting now how we're talking about, in fact, in Australia, they were talking about we should be kinder. And I think that's very, very important.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely something I agree with. I think
Yeah.
we could all use to be a little nicer to each other and a little
Yeah.
more understanding of one
Yeah,
another.
right. Open and kind. I think they're the two most important qualities for me.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
Not really. Just that I'm grateful to do this, and it was very interesting to meet your your project and your people at the event. And yeah, I'm glad that I could pitch in my 5 cents worth. Or,
Well, we appreciate you sharing with us. And, like we discussed, kindness is key.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to treat each other better is to attempt to understand each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you, Gordon.
Sure. Thank you.